The universe is an ocean. The moon is the Diaoyu Islands. Mars is the island of Huanyang. If we don't go there now, even though we are capable of doing so, then we will be blamed by our descendants. Because if others go there, then they will take over, and we will no longer be able to go even if we want to.
That's what Ye Peijian, a veteran Chinese aerospace engineer and head of China's lunar exploration program, said, speaking at the Chinese Communist Party's 2017 annual plenary sessions in Beijing. In his speech, he explains why it is critically important for China to go to the moon. Indeed, China's going to the moon, and Mars is no longer considered just a scientific achievement or national pride. It is also building China's future power in the Celestial Empire and beyond. A document released by the State Council in Beijing in 2015 stated,
"Space has become the new commanding heights in international strategic competition. Relevant countries developing their space forces and instruments are already reading the first signs of the trend of future weaponization in space."
In 2011, China presented to the public an ancient Chinese manuscript that researchers say details a mysterious event that happened nearly 500 years ago, namely an alien abduction. The text dates back to 1528, but it turns out that it is not the earliest document containing information about an extraterrestrial presence on Chinese territory. Su Dongpo's notes of November 3, 1071, are one of the earliest documented sightings of unidentified flying objects. In fact, almost 1,000 years later, China would become famous for one of the most famous abductions in the history of UFO contact, the abduction of Meng Zhaoguo. But to get there, let's first go back to 1071 and find out what Su Dongpo observed. On November 3, 1071, the great Chinese poet and statesman Su Xi, known as Su Dongpo, spent the night at the Jinshan Temple located in the city of Zhenjiang, Jiangsu Province. During the night, he witnessed an unusual and mysterious phenomenon in the sky, which he described in detail in his diaries. According to Su Dongpo's notes, the object was bright and shining, emitting a light that was unlike anything known at the time. It was so strong that it illuminated the surroundings and it became as bright as day. The object moved swiftly and smoothly across the sky without making a sound, which was extremely unusual for the then current understanding of celestial bodies and atmospheric phenomena. Su Dongpo noted that the observed object changed its direction of motion abruptly and suddenly, which contradicted known physical laws. This description contains many of the elements that modern UFO researchers often use to describe their sightings of unidentified flying objects. Su Dongpo was deeply impressed and puzzled by what he saw. This event made him think even more about the mysteries of the universe. When we disassociate ourselves from the stories related to religions, deities, angels, and so on, this incident is one of the earliest documented sightings of unidentified flying objects in world history. It could be said that Su Dongpo's notes are as important as some historical documents. In 1528, a case of mysterious abduction was documented. The records tell of a strange star that moved across the sky from east to west until it descended near a small village. One of the villagers, attracted by the unusual phenomenon, approached the object. According to the witness, the object was disc-shaped and about the size of a house, covered with brilliant colors unlike anything known before. Suddenly, the curious eyewitness fainted. After waking up, he found himself in a cold and strange place, illuminated in a mysterious red hue. Although he could see the sun, the moon, and the stars, there was nothing familiar around him. Only mysterious creatures with round faces and 3 eyes. They wore unusual clothes and spoke in a language he did not understand. The description of this UFO incident was found in a collection of manuscripts given to China's Ministry of Culture. After experts analyzed the manuscript, the ministry published a book on the case, including the diary of the Ming Dynasty author, who lived about 500 years ago. The story of the kidnapping occupies just 1 page out of more than 500, which recount ancient medicine, music, martial arts, and historical events. After the kidnapped stonemason returned home, it was revealed that he had been gone for a year. The author of the manuscript met with him after his return and recorded his recollections. the stonemason had a red mark on his chest and swore that his account was true. In 1994, the world witnessed perhaps one of the most notorious kidnapping cases in Chinese history. Meng Zhaoguo was an ordinary farmer who changed his profession and became a logger. When he was 26 years old, he and a relative noticed a strange object protruding from the mountain where they were cutting wood. The men decided to check it out, thinking it might be a crashed helicopter from which to retrieve something useful. Meng described the object as large and oval with a long tail, completely smooth and with no noticeable doors, just like a giant spaceship. When they approached, the two felt an electric charge that paralyzed them, as if they were walking against an invisible barrier. Some kind of force field surrounded the craft. Meng was then struck by a beam of light and fell to the ground. A few days later, Meng had an encounter with a female alien. According to him, a 3-meter-tall alien woman entered his home in Heilongjiang province by passing through a wall. She made him levitate over his bed while his wife and child continued to sleep, after which she took advantage of him. It all lasted a few seconds, and Zhaoguo is convinced that an experiment was performed on him. He must have been right because a month later, Meng woke up aboard a spaceship. The aliens were dressed in what looked like black cloaks and were speaking broken Chinese. They explained to him that they were here to escape danger and to observe our planet. They also showed him via a screen how a comet was hitting Jupiter. This event actually happened on July 17, 1994, when the comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 crashed into Jupiter, which was later taken as proof of the veracity of Meng's story, given the lack of internet at the time, and the fact that he had only studied up to 5th grade. Additionally, a thorough examination revealed a strange scar on his leg, which it was speculated may have been the result of an alien implant. Most scholars have labeled Meng's story as just more nonsense, declaring him to be delusional or mentally ill. However, many people believe him. All this leads to a lie detector test in 2003, which Meng passes. He claims that aliens visited him again in 2016 and gave him part of the comet that hit Jupiter. The rock the aliens gave him was later analyzed and found to be made of an extremely rare metal, terbium. News of Meng's 1994 encounter spread quickly and attracted UFO researchers from clubs around the world. They discovered scorch marks on trees and split rocks at the landing site. A researcher from the Chinese Academy of Sciences checks with a Geiger counter at Meng's home. The radiation measuring instrument simply jammed and could not take a reading near the wall through which the alien had entered his home, leaving the researchers confused. "I saw this with my own eyes. I can't explain this phenomenon," Wang Fangchen, the first chairman of the Beijing UFO Research Organization, told Story FM. Zhang Jingping of the World Chinese UFO Association is investigating one particular case of alien abduction. In December 1999, a middle-aged man from Beijing named Chao Gong claimed to have been abducted by aliens and transported to Qinhuangdao in their flying apparatus. They looked like humans, but they had big hands and were very pale, Chao told investigators. He also told them that he met a girl of Chinese origin on the flying saucer. Zhang's investigation began in April 2000. The first step was hypnosis performed by a well-known psychologist from Suzhou. Cao was then subjected to a lie detector test at the Beijing Public Security Bureau. He passed the test without a problem. Cao described that the girl in the aircraft appeared to be about 13 years old. The aliens cured her illness in the flying saucer, he claimed. To find the girl, Zhang took Cao to the Tangshan Public Security Bureau in July 2000. There, police officers drew up a photographic sketch of the girl's face according to Cao's description. In November 2002, Zhang led a group of students from the Beijing University of Aeronautics and Astronautics on a trip to Qinhuangdao to search for the mysterious girl. They arrived in Qinglong County, north of Qinhuangdao, and began their search among a population of 400,000. The chances of finding the girl among so many people were slim. Surprisingly, however, on the second day of their search, they hit a trail. An old man in the county recognizes the girl in the photo. Soon after, they found the girl, who was now 15 years old. Zhang took her back to Beijing to meet Chao Gong. Chao identified her as the girl he had seen in the flying saucer. China's serious research related to signs of extraterrestrial life is increasing, especially after the completion of the spherical telescope. FAST. It is the world's largest radio telescope of its kind. It is located in Guizhou province and began operating in 2016. Chinese astronomers use this radio telescope to observe cosmic objects that are 11 billion light-years away. China has invested over $180 million in the facility. In addition, it appears that the telescope was built in a specially selected location, which necessitated the displacement of around 10,000 residents of Guizhou province. Why is China throwing so much effort in this direction? Do they know anything more about what is happening off our planet? By the way, it is unlikely that high-ranking officials of any country would share any information of this nature with the common and ordinary citizens, let alone a country that has a high filter on incoming and outgoing information into the country. For us commoners, we are left to put two and two together and realize that no statesman does something just like that. Since China is investing so much in such a mega apparatus, there is obviously more to it than mere curiosity. If we are to turn to even older and more primary manuscripts describing deities descending to earth and ascending back to heaven, there is also an explicit record of when they will return again. However, that is a matter for another detailed video you see on the screen. Click on it now to continue the story.